What would you say if you could talk to your 13-year-old self for 1 hour? Write in the comments what you think about this. Enjoy the show. Story 1. I would tell her to never switch schools. Find a good doctor now and get her health checked, because if something I have now would have been discovered back then, I wouldn't have so many health issues now. That aside, to keep in touch with my then best friend and to get layers in my hair, lol. Story 2. Stop thinking life is a game. No one owes you anything. You are not special. You will never be an athlete or artist or musician. Settle down to doing your schoolwork and stop titting about. Do not go to work in that factory. It will foul up your life and expectations. Oh, in 2 years, stay away from the older woman. Do not be flattered by her attention. Story 4. I would tell myself to make sure my dad took better care of himself. I would tell myself to work harder in school and to stay away from a few certain people. I would tell myself to cherish my time with my grandmother and to try to understand my mother's struggles. I would tell myself to apply what I learned in therapy to my life so that I could have a chance at being happy. Also, to invest in Bitcoin. Story 5. I don't know whether or not to warn her about everything that's about to happen. Her mom is about to die. She's going to spend years trying to get her chronic illnesses diagnosed. Several of her male friends will turn out to be bad people. I don't think young me would cope knowing all of that. So maybe I would just tell her that everything is going to work out exactly how it's supposed to. Story 7. I'd tell my 13-year-old self to forget architecture, as it isn't going to work out. Take the FDNY exam and plan to go into the industrial trades if that doesn't happen. And take the money you were going to waste on tuition at college for architecture and buy Cisco systems at 90 cents share, sell it all in March 2000, take said pile and sink it into Apple at $1.10, and enjoy the fact that I'm going to be the world's first trillionaire. Story 8. Punch him in the fucking face, mate, and he'll never touch you or your mom again. He's a low-life, good-for-nothing, scummy, sponge-of-the-earth abuser. He ends up with nothing and no one. And guess what? He doesn't change. Do something now before he ruins your brother's life and continues to damage your sister. It's all okay though, pal. You end up with a life enriched with love and a family who adore you. You end up nothing like your father. Take care, kid. And remember, revenge is ice cream, best served cold and sweet. And if you ever catch anyone setting fire to the living room carpet, go easy on him. Story 9. As a 13-year-old, I always thought about what would happen if I met myself as a time traveler coming from the future to give me advice or directives. I always told myself that I'd listen to my older self, so I'm pretty sure I would listen. I would tell younger me to focus on my future and start acting now to build skills and behaviors to become successful. I am fine where I am now and have a career I am happy with, but it came with a lot of unnecessary pain. And I imagine if I would have started things sooner, then I could be doing things for myself now that I still haven't achieved yet. I would also tell my younger self not to give in to hatred, because that's something I've become comfortable with in the second half of my 20s. And I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I know there's a more compassionate way of being. Maybe I'd be married by now if I could stomach the thought of dating somebody. Story 10. You have asthma. Get an inhaler immediately. You're ADHD. Learn about masking before you have a nervous breakdown. Your dad is ADHD. Your mom is a narcissist. Get in therapy, ASAP. Learn about personality types and the Enneagram. Embrace who you are. Just be your quirky, wonderful self. Start taking piano lessons. Don't put more energy into others than they put into you. Save now. Though you believe kindness is much better currency, you're going to need actual money. Keep all of your toys and plushies, and especially that Care Bears book toy chest. Toys R Us will cease to exist in your lifetime. Enjoy it as much as you can. Though you think you want to have children, you may change your mind. Discover and create who you are/want to be. Consider what you want to do in life, even if it turns out not to be the thing you're meant to do as a career, and try it. Even if you're really bad at it, explore what brings you joy. Don't take everything so seriously. The way you love with your whole heart will cause you some pain, but it's mostly worth it. Just be careful who you share it with. Story 11. The pandemic won't last too long. Don't let mom go after the color festival of your 14th year, around the end of March, at any cost. Also, learn Filipino and German. Make sure to study well and get a high GPA. And research on job options and what you need to do to get there, like courses and exams and volunteering, everything. Make a plan. Get on it. Our bullies are not worth our tears, hun. Story 12. Stop taking things so seriously. If you can't learn to enjoy your youth, you might not learn to enjoy anything. Oh, and whatever important thing you're thinking about, it feels like a universal fact of being human. It seems like every story and every song is written about it. Maybe it's death or relationships or love or what it means to be a good person or a happy person. Yeah, only like 1% of the population has ever even thought about it for more than a millisecond. The result of that is that if someone tells you they care about doing the right thing, it's several orders of magnitude more likely that they're liars trying to take advantage of you than that they are telling the truth. Trust people who seem too dumb to manipulate you, not people who look like they care about morality, because odds are they don't. Story 13. I would tell my 13-year-old self to tell him to stay. He was one of my best friends and a protector when my brother would get violent, mental issues. He left and was gone for about 4 or 5 years. Then he showed back up again, and I had him for less than a year, and he disappeared again. It's been 6 years since I've seen him, and I still think about him every day, even though I don't know where he is, or if he's even still alive. He went down the wrong path of drugs, etc., so it hurts not knowing. Story 14. Grab your Walkman and record this and listen to it every day. You have chronic depression. Go get therapy, meds, and go on those walks you love. Stick with music no matter what support your sisters and then BF give you. You do it for you. Also keep in touch with your 2009 besties. Do the Achievers Scholarship no matter what. Ask for a tutor to go step by step on how to write the essays. Friends are great to see every day, but don't make them a priority of schoolwork. Stay in WA for another 2 years after graduating HS and go to community college for an AA, then proceed with everything like I have done now. Casanova is your love. Start those YouTube videos and stay consistent. Look up Drawing with Waffles and be besties with her. She is an amazing human. Thrift like you love and save 20% of each paycheck and never look at it, but maybe also put a little into stocks for Facebook and Google. Ask mom not to push sis 3 out of the house, but ask her if she wants to instead. Tell sis 3 she should, but you won't be going with her right away. She is not leaving you like sis 1 and 2 did. It's okay to be away from her for a bit. I know you will miss her, but therapy and meds will help. Being the baby comes with advantages and disadvantages. Therefore, try not to use them as a crutch, but as an opportunity. Go to community college right after high school and ask for tutor support and ask mom if she would like to join you. Take all the art classes while you take those GE ones. If anything, try Jumpstart and get GE credits. Network with your favorite classes teachers and keep in touch. Go back to KMS and ask for that yearbook. Make sure you get the rest of the yearbook merch HS graduation. Kiss him one time. Try out classes for electrician tech. Get a cheap sketchbook from Michael's and do everything you need to do in it. Use this every day. You do learn to be happy, organized, and how to declutter. Just know that it is a forever process if you plan to have things. Do all the things that you want to do when you grow up. Write them down and go. You do 50% of what professions you wanted to do, the other 50%. I will highlight those 50% that you should work towards. Keep in touch with Jimmy so that you can give him the art he wanted to purchase before he was AGT famous. Motto: you've got this and practice makes improvements. Story 15 depends, because there are things in my life I would want to change the course of, and there are things I wouldn't. Would I want to be in a 15-year abusive relationship? No. Would I want my son, who is a result of that relationship? Yes. Would I want a better job right now? Yes. Would I want to be with my partner who I met at my current job? Also yes. I think I'd just try and reassure him and give him some health advice. Although things that have happened as a result of my drinking have led me to where I am now. So story 16 first. I would give myself a brief summary of where I am now. Hopefully that would get me terrified into action mode. Then the advice: stop praying and completely cut yourself off from religion. It's useless. Accept your blindness, or you're going to waste valuable decades waiting for a cure that will definitely not come before 2030 if then. There are blind people enjoying life as they are. Be one of them. Join the NFB. Learn how to program. This insane thing called Bitcoin is going to come out in about 6 years. It makes absolutely no sense and violates all of your conceptions about money. Don't listen to your brain or heart and invest. Concentrate on either finding a job or applying for a university in the UK. They're going to leave the EU in 15 years, so while it's a way into Europe, it's not permanent. Either settle in the UK and endure Brexit, or make your way legally into one of the other EU countries through a job. There is no future for you in Turkey. There is no future for you in the United States. Story 17. I would probably advise myself to try harder in high school, but also to have more fun. I did a lot of nothing due to depression. Also, for the love of God, don't do the gap year and go to the college up north. Maybe it would have meant debt, but it still would have been better than where I ended up. Also, your best friend does not deserve that pedestal. And talk to more people / make better friends. Spend more time with your gramps. Story 18. I am not much older than 13. Just 1 year, but I would tell them that it's going to be okay. People will be assholes. I will learn how to deal with it. I'd tell them to leave ex-friend, sooner. I'd tell them to bond more with a current best friend. And I'd tell them that you will learn to cope with the hate. Don't give up and keep going, even if just for tomorrow. And for God's sake, if you haven't already, Don't wear a fucking tail to your middle school when there are already allegations of you being a furry. Story 19. I mean, unless we were talking about World of Warcraft, I doubt I'd have his attention for very long. Add ADHD to that, and it's a shit show for both of us. I also really like to talk about girls at that age. But at my current age, I don't have any inclination to talk about 13-year-old girls the way 13-year-old me would want to. If I could actually get me to listen, I'd tell myself that I would be a lot happier if I didn't try to be cool, and that being yourself is what makes you cool. Also, I'd tell him to get a new haircut, stop shampooing every day, and start pushing my bangs to the other side. Story 20. Hey 13-year-old, I know you are annoyingly against drugs and alcohol. That's cool, but maybe do some more research and learn a thing or two. You don't want to become so clouded in judgment that eventually you forget why you're so uppity. Then you might start wondering if you've become a slave to this notion that you don't fully understand, so you decide to go absolutely mental for 20 years with heavy alcohol abuse, or something like that. Story 21. Spend more time with your dad before he dies in 3 years. If you can, motivate him to take better care of himself, and do what he can to prevent bladder cancer. I daydream about going back in time to spend more time with my dad all the time. Be aware that you are about to show symptoms of bipolar II disorder that you should get treated right away, and you will start showing symptoms of schizophrenia at 24 that you should get treated right away as well. Your mother has narcissistic personality disorder. She is what they call a covert narcissist. She does a lot of little things to manipulate you, and there are a lot of things you feel guilty about that are not your fault. She is not psychic, and the two of you are not a part of some magical secret society of reincarnations of biblical characters. Ignore the way she makes fun of you, and just be your teenage, slightly emo self. When that one bully puts you down in class, get up and yell at him. Tell him that your life is hard enough, and he's making you want to die. Ask him in front of everyone if it's worth it to make his friend laugh a little if it means you're going to fucking die. The teacher will probably make you go to counseling, but it will be worth it. If he's bullying you while your father is dying/has just died, tell him that in front of everyone. Shame him into shutting the fuck up. Start hanging out with kids who go to public school. You will fit in with the drama kids from public schools so well. You'll realize that you're not really that weird. You're just weird at private school. Also, start playing guitar and piano. Story 22. Ask your mom if you can start therapy now. You've been exposed to a lot of trauma, and the fact that you don't know what it feels like not to fear the men that are supposed to protect you is going to cause you to normalize a lot of dysfunction. You're going to spend so many years of your life being abused and mistreated by men because you don't know how men are supposed to treat you. When you get older, know the difference between being sexually attracted to someone and simply wanting a man to show you positive attention so bad that you have sex with him. Don't assume that people will behave a certain way simply because you will. Get out of your own head. You're living your life. You please people that could actually care less what you do. If it seems like someone is using you, through probably are, you aren't entitled to support anyone but yourself and the family you created. When you graduate in 3 years, go into the military, be extremely cautious about who you decide to marry. The life of the party very rarely makes for a decent husband and father. You absolutely must marry a God-fearing man. Don't stop exercising. Spend more time with your grandparents. Invest into Amazon. Story 23. I would emphasize to that 13-YO that being a MF King choo-choo train chugging along and smashing through or bypassing BS is essential. Humans mixed with other humans are full of shit, myself included, because a facade in every social situation will always be up, even with best friends. The only time authenticity exists is when you throw a human into an empty pit, war zone, or alone with someone perceived as weaker. Story 24. Let's see 13. So I would be in 7th grade. I'd tell my 13-year-old self to keep doing push-ups and working out. Don't worry if other kids are afraid of my Hulk strength because I'm gonna need it come high school when everyone else starts looking meaty as fuck. I was a pretty strong kid at 13, but stopped and started acting weak because I thought I'd push everyone away because I could hurt people really bad if I just flexed my muscles when we were wrestling. My friends were kind of scared of me. Story 25. All right, bro. I'm gonna be straight up. Your life is gonna be hard as fuck for the next couple years. Don't be lazy. Actually try in school. 15. 16 will be the worst years of your life. When you enlist, don't run with that guy on your back. Stay away from the windows. Get out, go to college, be a doctor. You can fucking do it, bro, I promise. Stay away from the crazy bitch. Lastly, just hug everyone before you go separate ways. Story 26. The situation might be bad right now, and you're in the pace where you will also start having those thoughts. If you did your best, what'll happen to you? And will you even reach your goals? And I'll say to you, to just be brave and be yourself. Never let others sway you and just live the moment. People will come around and will be there to help and support you in the times of despair and your silent battles. Well, it's still a long way, but I know you got this. Never hesitate to do what the heart wants, but also be responsible enough to handle your own decisions. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Be sure to write comments and share your stories.